Welcome to another episode of I Know Jax. I'm Joe Talentino. Today I have a great show for you. We're going to start out by visiting Culhane's Irish Pub. Then I'm meeting up with Erin Thursby to talk about the upcoming food festival, Gastrofest. We're going to talk about craft beer and wood-fired pizza, that and much more in this week's episode of I Know Jax. We just had St. Patrick's Day, and it's the time of year when everyone likes to become Irish. And with a name like Talentino, I sure know how to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. No, I don't. I don't really know anything about being Irish at all, but after having visited Culhane's Irish Pub, I know one thing: I do like Irish food. I sat down with the four sisters who own the place to talk about how it all got started. So I've got all four sisters from Culhane's here, and I just want to ask, first of all, how the heck did you guys get started with this bar?
We were drunk one night.
That's always how good things start.
Yeah. Many years ago, we moved to Minnesota back in the 90s.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Individually, of course, and after obviously working 2 or 3 jobs, working for corporations, a couple of times we did meet up, which was very often. We discussed
we love
coming together.
Yeah.
We love to drink and eat. You know, it's been a lifelong ambition of ours to come together and have a business.
Well, you guys have had it for a few years now, right?
2005.
In the pub, that's 100 years.
That's sort of like dog years, right?
we call it pub years.
Mary Jane had moved down here first, and then it was Michelle, and then I believe Anya moved down. And I actually was in Ireland at the time, and
So you were the last to get
I was
converted.
the last.
She walks in high heels. When we moved here, we just saw a huge opening.
Yeah.
Because we were so used to up north having amazing pubs with like amazing food, amazing drinks, just the whole thing.
Irish
and so we kind of just kept evolving since the 10 years we've been here.
Yeah.
We've always tried to stick to our roots.
So how did you guys choose the foods that you put on the menu?
Just a lot of
Michelle.
research. I'm kind of the foodie in the family, so we tried to stick
Me
to.
and you, baby.
You could never
I think we stuck to the traditional,
Right.
and then we kind of just came up with our own flair because we live in Florida, so support the locals. So
Right.
our fish is from Mayport, our breads and cakes are from Sonati's, which is right there in
right up the
Penman.
street. Yeah. One of my favorites is the Guinness stew.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's a good base for when you're going to drink.
Yeah, there's Guinness in there. That's why you like
you
it.
got to get started, right?
It's so funny. Everything in our recipe or our actual kitchen, it's whiskey.
Everything has alcohol.
Beer.
This is why I love it.
Whiskey, beer, and wine.
Yeah,
Sharing.
and wine.
The one thing they're known for here at Culhane's is comfort food. We got the dinglefish, which is what we made back in the kitchen, shepherd's pie, the Scotch egg. They got these great sausage rolls, which is a great base if you're going to go out drinking. Not saying that you should, just saying that you can. And then they got these garlic chips, which is really, well, they're French fries covered in a lot of goodness. They're also great to have when you're drinking at the bar. And guess what? I'll see you at Culhane's. Didn't that look just great? Next time you go to Culhane's or Culhane's, make sure to let them know that you saw their story right here on I Know Jax. A lot of people who visit Culhane's like to order Guinness or Hart, but personally I prefer Magners. That's an Irish cider, in case you didn't know. I love Irish food, but there's a lot of other types of food I love in Jacksonville, and this month we have the big food festival, Gastrofest, coming up. This year the festival has moved from Hemming Park over to Friendship Fountain and Mosh, and next we're going to talk about, well, more about what's happening at this year's event. Now, one of my favorite festivals of the year is Gastrofest. Maybe it's because I like exploring local food and local restaurants, and this festival is a must-do for foodies like me. Well, this year the festival has moved from Hemming Park over to Mosh and the Friendship Fountain, which is where I met up with the founder, Erin Thursby, to find out more. Gastrofest is an awesome event for everyone who likes food. This festival is an all-day celebration of the culinary world of Northeast Florida, including educational talks, tasting events, a marketplace, and more. The day is broken up into blocks. The first block is from 11 to 3 p.m., the second from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, some food vendors are there all day, but most of them will only do one block.
Gastrofest is an opportunity to taste a lot of Jacksonville.
Here's a tip from a Gastrofest veteran. Make sure to go to the ATM before you go. You need cash to buy taste tickets, and the line for the ATM is, well, let's say often long. So make sure you bring cash. You don't want to miss out on any of the great local food.
But every vendor has something from $1 to $3. So you can come in, you can taste food trucks, restaurants, and then we have a variety of beers as well.
Now, speaking of beer, another must-taste for me is, of course, the homebrew competition that takes place on the deck at the Riverside Brewing Company. There's a lot to do besides tasting food. You'll also enjoy exploring all the vendors at the marketplace, plus there's a kid zone too.
The Mosh is going to do a demo on our Sawyer Gas demo stage, actually, with the science of nitrogen in cooking, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Check out the whole schedule on the website at GastroJAX.org. And remember, if you see me at Gastrofest, make sure to come up and say hi.
Just such a great location. I think people are going to love being here.
I'm also excited about some of the classes they're having at Gastrofest. This week, I was at Bellwether for a tasting and spoke briefly to the chef there about the kimchi class. Now, personally, I love kimchi and I always wanted to learn more about how it's made. Now, I know that some of the classes are already sold out, and I think the kimchi class might have a few tickets left. There are several other classes as well, so you can find out all about that and more information about the festival and VIP tickets at gastrofest.org.
Just ID'd Phyllis. Manatees are identified by the scars we record as we study their behaviors. The vast majority of living manatees have been injured by watercraft and bear scars from these collisions. Phyllis here is one of the lucky ones who has survived multiple boat hits.
Hey, and welcome to What's Brewing in Jax. Every week I take a look at what's happening in the craft beer scene in Jacksonville. I'm at Really Good Beer Stop on 3rd Street in Jax Beach, and today I'm having Flow State Double IPA from Jax Beach's own Ruby Beach. This is a big week for craft beer in Jacksonville because we have two big festivals coming up, Gastrofest and Shrimp and Suds Craft Beer Festival. Before we talk about that, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Aardwolf Brewing Company. On Wednesday, March 21st, Aardwolf Brewing Company celebrates 5 years in the tap room. Congratulations are certainly in order.
Happy birthday!
They are celebrating that special day by releasing 5 pilot batches. Evan from Pie 95 will be there, and he's making some awesome wood-fired pizza. Now, I did a story about him not that long ago, and you can find that on my YouTube channel. Pie 95 has some of the best pizza in town. Now, I also saw something about ice cream. In any case, 5 pilot batches and pizza. Need I say more? More info is available on Facebook. Make sure to stop by Aardwolf on March 21st and help them celebrate. And for us craft beer enthusiasts, there's a lot going on this week as well. First, let's talk about Gastrofest. This year, the festival is moving over to Friendship Fountain. The festival itself is free. You just need to bring cash to buy food tasting tickets. Now, many Jacksonville restaurants are participating in this event, so make sure to come by. Also, Jax Beer Society is again organizing the popular home brew contest. This year, that's taking place on the deck of Riverside Brewing Company, starting at 3 p.m., when you can come and taste what Jacksonville's local home brewers have to offer. This is a prestigious competition. Past winners include brews from Harris Meadery, Main and Sixth, before they were known commercially. Gastrofest is not the only big event happening downtown. There's also the Shrimp and Suds Beer Fest at the baseball grounds. The first home game for the Jumbo Shrimp isn't until April, but on March 24th, there's a craft beer festival at the baseball grounds with many of our local breweries. Food, including the shrimp and pulled pork nachos, as seen on the Travel Channel's Food Paradise, will be available for purchase. That's also on March 21st. Now that's it for this time. Now if you want to try the Flow State from Ruby Beach, you need to hurry here because at Really Good Beer Stop, they rotate their 20 beers on tap all the time, so there's always something new. Cheers. Jacksonville Beach's ultimate craft beer and growler store.
We're going to be making a carved Moscow Mule. You're going to need 1.5 ounces of carve, a little bit of lime, fresh limes, some ginger beer, mix it all up, and you got yourself a carved Moscow Mule.
So Crystal is here at the Lemon Bar and made us a Moscow Mule carve style.
Carve style.
Now, when you made carve, did you think you were going to be using it in such traditional type drinks? You had no plan. Come on, man.
I go to the bar a lot, so I figured it'd be, you know, everything, so why not?
Dude, this tastes pretty good.
It does, right?
Not bad.
Wait, you go without me?
I did. I went without you.
All right.
No, that's how I do. Well, you know what? Being out here at the beach doesn't suck at all, does it?
Not at all.
Hanging here at the Lemon Bars.
I mean, it's one of my inspirations behind the vodka. It's like I want to create a beach-style vodka for places like the Lemon Bar. That's
Right.
why we're here today.
Right.
There's no better bar in Jacksonville for this atmosphere than Lemon Bar.
Right. Because you're right here on the beach. You really
Right,
can't
right
get
on
away
the
from
beach,
it.
you can see the waves. And, you know,
Pretty carving.
if you want to go out there and surf, you can. You know,
can
but-
go out and surf. I don't think I could.
Well, not after a couple of these, though. That would be
Well, maybe
dangerous.
I'd be ready to after a couple of those.
Maybe, yeah. Let's try that. Let's have some more.
Cheers. This Saturday, I'm going to have to run between Gastrofest and the baseball ground because I definitely want to check out both places. It'll be a busy Saturday, that's for sure. And hey, I love this time of year because there is so much going on. After all, we're now in the middle of spring, well, festival season. Now, I consider myself a rather smart guy. No, really, I do. But somehow I seem to have a problem getting these trivia questions right. I'm just not having any luck. How about you? Let's see what Steve has up his sleeve this week.
Hey, this is Steve with Trivia Nation. It's time to get your think on. So if you look at the Packers jersey numbers and you take Reggie White's jersey number and subtract Aaron Rodgers' jersey number, what number do you get?
I just wanted to let you know that I'm now sending out the Insider every Tuesday. You'll get tips and ideas for cool things to do, plus you'll find out what I'm up to and where we're filming next, that kind of stuff. You can subscribe to the Insider on my website at IKnowJAX.com.
So before the break, we asked you, if you look at Packers jersey numbers, take Reggie White's jersey number and subtract Aaron Rodgers' jersey number, what number do you get? That's 92 minus 12 equals 80. Please join us at any of our 50 locations in Northeast Florida. Just go to trivianation.com for more details.
Did you get it? I love playing live trivia. I really do. One of my favorite places to go for that is the Flask and Cannon at the beach. But maybe that has to do with the fact that they have maybe a gazillion different rums and lots of fun umbrella drinks. Hey, even if I don't know the answers, I at least make sure I have a good time and enjoy every minute. And that's what it's all about, right? Now, I like trying new things, going to new places, and meeting new people. Now, luckily for me, I get to do that every week through my job here at I Know Jax. Like I always say, I have the best job in Jacksonville. I get to hang out in the restaurant kitchens with chefs and taste great food every week. I also learn a lot. No, really, I do. I know you think it's all fun and games, and it is for me, but I do learn a lot about what goes on behind the scenes. Now, when I visited Evan from Pi 95, I learned a lot about wood-fired food. There's a lot of skill to that you might not know about, so check this out.
I'm at Riverside Arts Market to get some incredible pizza, and believe it or not, it's from a food truck with a wood-fired oven. Well, you're classically trained, you worked in big, nice restaurants. Pizza?
Yeah, I remember sitting in Australia at Manly Wharf having a pizza and a beer and just realizing this is what life's about. It's not about how many Michelin stars you have. It's not about chasing it. It's about finding what makes you happy. So.
And pizza makes you happy.
They asked me what's my demographic and I said, it's pizza. Riverside Arts Market has been a blessing. It's been the best thing for Pi 95, under I-95. It's a great feel, it's a great culture downtown here.
So talk to me about the food truck community. Have you been, is it competition? They're like, we don't want you to succeed. How do they do?
No, well, of course in life everything is a little bit of competition, but the food truck community has been open arms help here in Jacksonville. Honestly, I'll run out of one thing and we run over to another food truck. I got you. I don't have this. I got you. Restaurants, you can't run to another restaurant and get the support that we have here. Pi 95 is Neapolitan pizza based. So I try to stay as true to the basics as possible.
Right.
So we're having salami, pepperoni, and ham cured meats. You're not going to get chicken. You're not going to get hamburger meat. But the menu is based off of what is practical. What can I achieve as a one-person operator where I'm not going to kill myself? You know, but also flavors that people are going to enjoy. We have from a cheeseless pizza, the marinara pizza, to the classic margarita, to the American classic of the pepperoni, where we have the jumbo pepperonis cut in-house.
Cool.
We also have a veggie pizza, our herbivore. We also have our meat pizza, the carnivore. And here's a curveball, so the Supremivore. I came up with it from customers asking if we have a Supreme pizza, to be honest. The Supremivore gets a choice of 2 different meats or 2 different vegetables. To be honest, my favorite's the margarita pizza. The margarita pizza is the classic Neapolitan style pie. The simplicity of the tomatoes, fresh milk mozzarella, olive oil, salt, and basil, you can't lose. And when you have the herbivore pizza, it just, you feel good for having a pizza. You're healthy.
People seem to be enamored with the wood-fired oven.
All wood, no gas.
So how hard is that to work with, especially on a food truck?
Well, let's just say before I had that, I didn't have these. No, I'm just kidding.
And why did you choose wood fire? I mean, you could have gone a lot cheaper.
It's the pureness of it. It's the pureness. It's as a young chef, we were moving into the whole modernist cuisine of sous vide this, sous vide that, and just searing your meat. And the minute that I actually cooked on a wood-fired oven, it was a complete game changer to me. The passion, the drive, maybe the fact that I'm a Capricorn and I like the challenge.
Yeah.
But every single pizza has its own creativeness to it. It's not the same. It's no set it and forget it.
No, you got to move those pizzas around, right?
You have to move it around.
Isn't that a challenge when you're busy?
Yes. Also, when you're going to location and your oven hasn't been on for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
That's another challenge. Right now, it's about 45 degrees out. 45 to 90 degrees doesn't seem like much, but it makes a difference in the oven.
Of course.
But that's what other kitchens also have to deal with.
Yeah.
A lot of times is make sure you get yourself some really reputable wood or you're not going to be having a fire and you're not making any pizzas.
Are you trying to say it's hard to get wood?
It's hard to get good wood.
Some of the best pizza in Jacksonville right here at Riverside Arts Market with Pi 95. Yeah, baby.
Make sure to go see Evan at Pi 95 next time you go to Riverside Arts Market. And remember, he'll also be at Art Wolf on Wednesday when they're celebrating their 5th year at the tap room. And who knows, you might see me there too. And if you do see me out and about, make sure to come up and say hello. Now you can meet me at Atlantic Beach Brewing Company on Friday when I'm doing my Facebook Live show. I'll be there from about 6:30 to at least 8, And if you can't come out and join me, make sure to check it out online at 7 p.m. Make sure you like it or love it with a bunch of those hearts and thumbs up or whatever the cool kids are doing these days. And please share my videos. It really helps me if you do. The more people we have sharing stories, the more people find out about us. Now, believe it or not, there are still people on the First Coast who don't know about I Know Jax, and you can help me change that. Well, that's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another episode, but until then, I'll see you on the internet.